Welcome back everyone, my name is TheoSpartic. Today we are here to talk about an ordinary man who, in seeking a way to escape the monotony of his everyday life, set out to become a park ranger. In the solitude of his newfound position, he stumbles upon some shady events enshrouded within the park he is meant to protect. This is his story. Join me now as we dive into Ironbark Lookout. Starting with an info dump, we are given the context of this being an admittedly true story. Our character, introducing himself as Jack Nelson, tells us of his meager job as a park ranger, allowing him to meet his basic needs but nothing above that, the finer things of life being out of his reach. He then receives word that he is to be moved to another outpost. Fine by him due to his recent purchase of an RV and his love of the road life. He now sets off on this new adventure. Upon our journey to the small town of Roseberg, we find that Jack is very much a loner at heart, admitting to us that he seeks the solitude of the outdoors over people. It feels like home to him out there. We then receive a text from Jack's little sister, Chilla, letting us know of a diner that we just have to try out. We then decide to head there, as this will be the last bit of good food we'll probably have for a while. After parking, we are finally given an opportunity to explore the RV that we have worked so hard for. Not much, but it definitely gets the job done. On our way inside the diner, we cross paths with a patron enjoying their burger. We strike up a conversation, asking them if they're enjoying the meal. He then asks us where we're heading, upon which we tell him about our new position at the park. He expresses concern, informing us of 3 missing children who were last seen in the park. He goes on to tell us about rumors of some cryptid haunting the area. With nothing else left to say, we head inside to enjoy our meal. Entering the building, we are greeted by the warm, homely feeling of an all-American diner, a jukebox playing classics in the background. As we are soaking in the atmosphere presented to us, the waitress comes to greet us and beckons us to take a seat in one of the booths. Before seating ourselves, we take notice of a strange man. Strewn across his seat are some odd items, a shovel and a burlap sack. In a friendly manner, we ask if he is enjoying his food. The only response we get back being a hard stare. Finally taking our seat, the waitress asks for our order. We go with the safe and reliable option of a burger, fries, and a large Coke. The waitress then brings us our meal. It may be simple, but we cherish these last bits of fatty goodness we will have for the next few months. These last bits of home. After paying for our meal, we leave the diner to head back out on the road. Noticing now that the strange man from earlier is gone. Making our way back into the RV, we take a quick look around, and notice the bathroom door is now jammed. With nothing to be done for it right now, we start the RV and make our way off into the sunset. Arriving to the park later that night, the visitors all gone, lights in the windows of the guard shack being the only sign of someone still being here. Grabbing our bag, we make our way to the shack to report in for duty. We open the guard shack to be jumped by a park ranger, rifle in hand. He very vaguely exclaims, "I thought you were one of them." He asks for our permit, to which we reply that we are the new fire lookout. He acts surprised. They weren't supposed to have any newcomers this time of year. Locked in conversation, they both fail to realize the silhouette of a man creeping past the window behind them. After sorting everything out in the system, he hands us our keys and tells us that we are staffed in Lookout Tower 11. After opening the trailhead gate for us, he welcomes us to the park, hands us a flashlight for our long hike, and then instructs us that we are to make a weather report upon arriving to our tower. Before departing, he gives us an ominous warning not to travel any further than half a mile north of our tower. He discounts this reason for caution for the wildlife, but we can't help but wonder if it's for something else. And with that, we begin our long hike to the lookout tower. Arriving close to midnight, we are able to see the silhouette of the tower cast against the night sky. An eerie but much welcomed sight after our long trek. The temperature beginning to drop due to an incoming storm, we make our way into the tower to see about lighting a fire. Upon entering the tower, we realize that there is no power, so we journey downstairs again to turn on the generator at the base. With the power now on in our tower, we venture outside to get our first weather reading. Having gathered all the needed information, we then take a seat at our computer to enter our findings. But before we can finish that task, we are interrupted by someone over the radio at our desk.
New guy, haven't gotten your name yet. What is it again?
We give him our name, and he expresses how happy he is to see the light in our tower again.
I'm Connor, Fire Tower 12.
He lets us know the shed outside is probably full of firewood, since that's all the previous lookout ever did.
Anyways, you better get that fire going. You don't want to sit through the storm.
And with that, we venture outside, gather what firewood we need, and head back to the top of the tower. Fire now lit, Connor asks us about our progress.
Any report for the night yet? You don't want to disappoint Mitch on your first night.
Not wanting to disappoint Mitch so soon, we go to our reporting software and enter our findings from earlier.
You copy, new guy? I think I'm going to sign off for the day. Tower 12, signing off.
And with that, we are once again left to our solitude. All our tasks finished, and nothing else to do, we close the shutters outside and head to bed. Around 3 a.m., we are jolted awake by unintelligible garbles over the radio. We get up to check, but find only static on the other end. Deciding to take advantage of our rude awakening, we take a trip outside for a quick leak. On our way back to bed, we see the beam of a flashlight peek at us from between the trees, before quickly being shut off. Discounting this as being one of the campers on a late night stroll, we head back to bed. On the second night of our job, we find Jack outside enjoying the sunset, remarking on how he loves moments like these. Just you and the wind in the trees. Wanting to save the moment, he snaps a couple of pictures. Heading back inside the tower, we hear Connor calling over the radio.
Hey guy, you copy?
We take a seat at our desk to see what he wants.
Son of a bitch! Nobody bothers to get a camping permit these days anymore. You have eyes on the smoke north of your position.
We hurriedly walk outside to see if we can spot the pillar of smoke he is talking about. We confirm the sighting of the fire, to which he tells us of the location and what to do.
It appears to be in the Lacey Trail sector, which is not a registered campsite. No additional information at the moment. Just follow Lacey Trail. Keep an eye out for any signs of a campfire or any potential hazards along the way.
Grabbing our bear spray and flashlight, we then head out on our mission. Approaching the campsite later that night, we hear a blood-curdling scream from the darkness. We then hurry to the campsite but are surprised to find no one there. The camping gear and supplies laid out as if someone had just been enjoying their time here moments ago. Just as we approach the closed part of Lacey Trail, we see a hooded figure slink back into the tree line. We then call to them, but with no response. We then decide to make ourselves useful and put out the fire with some water from the pond. On our timid trek back to the tower, we catch the sound of movement just behind the trees. We finally make it back to the tower, never so happy to see our place of solitude. Sitting down at our desk again, we inform Connor of what happened at the campsite.
They never learn, do they? I'm sick of these bastards. It's unbelievable.
After letting him know about the scream, he strangely shrugs it off, not concerned at all.
The scream. Must have been one of those red foxes. They sound sound pretty much like a screaming lady at night. I don't know what you're talking about, new guy, but I heard from the rangers that a lot of campers have been flocking to that area lately because of the disappearance of those 3 kids. About a month ago, they were hiking with their families. They went off the trail and just vanished. No trace that we don't know. Their parents said some whistle led them off the trail. It's unbelievable. People have started spreading rumors that the area might be haunted by some entities. It's crazy, I know. You would think these rumors would scare people off, but apparently it's been the opposite. Sometimes, I only wish they were true.
Upon learning this new information about the disappearances and Connor's apparent longing for the rumors to be true, we were left unsettled and decided to make some food before bed. Using a recipe that our sister, Kayla, had sent us, we get to work on making a pasta bake to calm our nerves. Forgetting the outside world and focusing on something that reminds us of home. While we wait for our meal to finish cooking, Connor once again calls over the radio.
Just reported their ass to the authorities. Don't worry. Forest Service agency will take care of it first thing in the morning. Hope they can track them down and give them a peace of mind. I know it's been a tough day, but you're doing an excellent job up there. Over 12, signing off. Over and out.
After saying our goodnights, we proceed to take our weather readings and enter them into the system. With our food now done, we take a seat on our bed to enjoy our home-cooked meal. Filling our belly, we then stow our leftovers in the fridge and head to the shed outside to gather some firewood. We hear a whistle like the one Connor said led the children off the trail, followed by some muffled footsteps. Believing our mind to be playing tricks on us, however, we head back inside. Fire now lit, we head to bed. Awakened by a whistle and a flashlight shining through our window, we jump out of bed to see a dark figure slide out of view. Feeling uneasy, we go to the door to see what's going on. We find a deer skull set up in a ritualistic fashion. Not knowing what to make of it, we decide to call Connor.
Do you have any idea what time it is? Just couldn't wait until morning? Tell you what, new guy. It's probably best to ignore these kids messing around. I suspect that's what Marley got tired of. These kids can be pretty creative with these pranks. They watch too many horror movies. Maybe they thought it would be funny. Alright, here's what we'll do. I'll send someone to check in on you tomorrow. For now, just lock your door, take a deep breath, and try to get some rest. We can't do much in the dark.
Noting that Connor was carelessly disregarding this event, we begrudgingly go back to bed. On our third night, we are outside on our balcony searching for any possible fires, when the crimson light of a flare rises in the distance. After that, we hear a distressed camper calling over our radio.
Hello? Is anyone there? I need help. Hello? Can anyone hear me? Oh, thank goodness. I'm lost, and I'm really starting to freak out. I don't even know where to start. I went out to explore the area and lost track of time. I think I'm lost. I remember passing a small stream earlier. I'm walking towards west right now because I remember walking east when I came here. I'm at a trail intersection now, but I can't remember if I should take the right trail or the left to get back to the trailhead. Can you help me?
Using our map to deduct where the lost hiker is, we inform them on which way to go.
I'm going to be honest. I had my suspicions on the left trail, but if you say so, right one it is. I'm right here! I hear you. I hear your whistles. What? I see you behind the trees to my right. You're freaking me out.
While our friend is likely meeting an untimely end, we are pulled out of our conversation by a knock at the door. Relieved to see it is only Billy the park ranger with our weekly supply drop. He expresses his concern for the hiker we were just assisting. He then begins to probe, asking what our business was at that campsite last night. Reminding us that we shouldn't be up that way. There's things in those woods that would very much like a piece of us. stating that we'd be too isolated to get help from anyone. We make sure to tell him about the skull from the previous night, to which he asks if we captured any photo evidence of it. Admitting we were too rattled to think about it at the time, he dismisses it, as there's nothing to be done about it then. And with that, he says his goodbyes and departs from our humble abode. We then proceed with our nightly routine and enter the weather conditions into the computer. Feeling hungry, we grab the pasta bake from last night and enjoy the rest of our leftovers. Not wanting to freeze in the cold embrace of the night, we step outside to grab some firewood. A keen eye will remember this as the man from the diner, but seemingly, in the excitement of the last few days, we have forgotten this small detail. He attempts to calm us down, stating he is an employee of the park, sent to work on the radio tower down the trail. We affirm that it is an important job, since we rely on the communication about spotted fires. Forebodingly, he voices that some fires are meant to burn, and nothing can stop them, that natural disasters are just a form of divine cleansing. He proceeds to depart, but not before giving us an ominous warning. As we watch him retreat into the trees, we can't help but wonder, what is really going on here? Fire finally lit, we are once again contacted by Connor.
Copy now. Finally. I've been trying to reach you for a while now. Where have you been?
We go on to tell him of our interaction with Silas, to which he reacts as if we are pulling his leg. He then relays to us some information that does nothing to pacify our creeping fears.
The radio tower's been out of service for ages now. It was closed down years ago after a lightning strike fried its systems, and its repair cost was deemed too costly. Look,
Not backing down on our worries, we tell Connor that he knew our name.
knew your name. You think he's been listening? Either way, disguising as a staff member is strictly forbidden according to park guidelines. Next time you see him, get his information, or take a photo. We need to figure this out. Anyways, I'm seeing that you've already reported. I think I'm gonna hit the sack now. Tower 12, signing off.
Growing ever more apprehensive, we reluctantly go to bed for the night. Connor makes us aware of an apparent security update for our computer.
Well, good news. Just heard from the HQ. They say we've got a new system update on the computer. They just wanted me to let you know. They say it's an important security update.
Following our instructions, we quickly make sure to install this latest bit of software. After all, what could go wrong? In light of the sudden blackout, we hurry downstairs to restart the generator. With the power once again restored, we now skip to 1 week later.
We got another one. I know it's late, but you're gonna want to see this one, Jack.
Intrigued, we rise from our slumber to see what is going on.
Okay, tell you what. I don't have the energy to do this right now. I've been here busting my ass, working on that old piece of garbage generator, and now I'm seeing this. I'm seeing more smoke to my west. Looks like we got another camper. It appears to be in your sector. Do you see the campsite from your end?
On our way outside to check on the situation, Connor interjects.
I don't have it in me to deal with this crap tonight. I'm gonna let you deal with it. If they don't run away this time, take their photos and IDs. Update me tomorrow morning. I'm gonna get some rest.
Reaching our balcony, we behold the sight Connor was speaking of. Unable to see clearly, we pull out binoculars to get a good look. We see a gathering of people in religious robes of some type, gathered around what seems to be a funeral pyre. Unsure as what to make of this, we grab our camera. These unknown perpetrators, having spotted our camera flash, rush towards our location. Panicking, we make the split-second decision to dive under our bed. Seeing our only opportunity, adrenaline surging, we rush out of the tower, before hiding in a porta potty at the bottom. Not wanting to wait a moment longer, we make a break for it down the trail. Eventually, reaching the parking lot we had originally arrived to, we do not hesitate to jump in our RV and speed off into the night. And with that, Ironbark Lookout reaches its conclusion and leaves many questions. Why was the man at the diner following us all the way back then? Were the other employees involved? Or did they not want to admit such horrid things were happening in their beautiful park? We may never know. But what I do know is, my name is TheoSpartic, and this has been a video game deep dive. And as always, have a good night.